sound is off.
Okay, I test it happen. It will.
No, you must switch on sound on OBS. Can you say something again?
You sound the last time with this thing, there must be off.
No, there's a button that must go off. Why? There is one.
Can you hear me?
I
Testing.
think it's the sound. Yeah, remote keyboard. It must be off, but. Wait, we just.
It looks like a camera desktop.
Yeah, desktop should go off. That's what I'm saying. No. It should be the OBS.
Okay, wait.
Swearing in ceremony, Western Cape Division of the High Court, date 1st of June 2026, what time? 1 p.m. Venue, Court 20. Order of the proceedings. Welcome and opening address. Judge President
Can you please say something again?
Yes. The Judicial Republic of South Africa. Testing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sabelo. Can you please go to the podium and say something?
Swearing in ceremony, Western Cape Division of the High Court, 1st of June 2026, 1 p.m., Court 20. Order of the proceedings. Welcome and opening address. Judge President Mabindla-Boqwana address on biographs of the newly appointed judges, Judge Erasmus. Swearing in to be Judge President Mabindla-Boqwana.
We have
Remarks
switched
by
off
the
the desktop one.
Deputy Judge
Sound.
President.
It's sharp. Sabelo, I think we are
Reply
now fine.
by the newly appointed judges.
Because the man said that's no problem.
So, what
And we didn't know.
They can hear.
so it means we must recreate.
Yeah, I don't think. Let me see if we can use this.
In the foyer of Court 20.
Sharp, let's do it this way. Yeah. Let's see if we can. Wait another link, Imo. Hold on, everyone.
And which stream is going live, Munamo? Because I see there are two.
This one. Can you testing at the moment?
Can you go back?
Eh?
Can you go on manage streams? I think I saw two streams there.
I think you need to create another one.
So which one? Because I see there's that one is already live.
And
are you on public?
I won't private. And one immediately this thing.
So what are the desktop you on if we have audible?
She's off.
Oh what? M I want to okay. Keep desktop.
Yeah, but it's off currently.
Wait.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I've got 2 minutes sitting there by the time. Okay, say something. Okay. Swearing ceremony, Western Cape Division of the High Court, 1st of June, 2026, 1 p.m. at Court 20. Order of the proceedings, welcome and opening address by the Judge President Mabindla-Boqwana. The address on biographies of the newly appointed judges by Rasmus. The swearing in by the Judge President, the remarks by the Deputy Judge President, the replies by the newly appointed judges, closing and vote of thanks by the Judge President. Still they can hear me? Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll see you guys at 10 to 1. 40 minutes. See? Thank you, Tim. We'll get you at 10 to 1. Thank you. Please, I do. Right. You will see that. Several hours. 16. Oh, okay. Subject woman, okay, but you check it out. That's what you
We apologize for the older version of the national anthem. I think some people wanted to take us back to down memory lane, but I hope you enjoyed that. To my colleagues sitting with me on the bench and those watching online, to the newly appointed judges who will be sworn in shortly and their families, that is the Mayosi family, the Van Sale family, Barense, Njokweni and Davis families and friends, the legal profession, our stakeholders, staff members, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Western Cape Division of the High Court. We especially welcome and are delighted to have the family members with us who traveled from afar to be part of this ceremony. As we welcome our 5 new colleagues to the bench, we also want to acknowledge the role you have played as their parents, spouses, children, siblings, aunts and uncles, and other family members by supporting them throughout their journeys and careers. We celebrate with you as you celebrate them. We gather today to conduct and witness one of the most solemn and affirming moments in the life of a lawyer, that is joining the bench and being sworn in as a judge. You'll agree with me that occupying the office of a judge is the pinnacle of any lawyer's career. To Nxumisa Mayosi, Susan Van Sale, Roy Barense, Pinda Njokweni, and Diane Davis, I extend the warmest and most sincere of welcomes on behalf of the judiciary of the Republic of South Africa and the Office of the Chief Justice. You join an institution with a proud and enduring tradition of service to the Constitution and to the people of our country, and you bring to it a wealth of experience, learning, and commitment that I believe will strengthen and enrich our division in the years to come. We are richer because of your appointments. Thank you for agreeing to serve. I know that as senior members of the profession that you leave behind, you had busy and thriving practices, but chose a higher calling. It is fitting that before we speak of who you are and what each of you brings to this bench, which my brother Erasmus J will be dealing with in a moment, that we should pause to reflect on what it is that you are joining. Judicial office, unlike any other in the law, judicial office is unlike any other office in the law. You have, each of you, enjoyed distinguished careers as advocates or attorneys of great standing in our courts. In those roles, the obligation was to your client, to your case, to the principles of the law as you understood them, in the service of a particular interest. That obligation, however formidable, belonged to one side of the scales. Today, you are invited to hold the scales themselves. The judicial oath that you will be taking is brief in its words, but immense in its meaning. We pledge to be faithful to the Republic of South Africa, to uphold and protect the Constitution and the human rights entrenched in it, and to administer justice to all persons alike, without fear, favor, or prejudice, and in accordance with the Constitution and the law. In those few words lies the full weight of judicial office. Section 165 of the Constitution vests judicial authority in the courts. That authority is not personal. It belongs to the institution and through the institution to the people. A judge does not dispense justice in his or her own name. A judge dispenses justice in the name of the Republic, in fidelity to the constitutional compact that binds us all, the governed and those in authority alike. The power you will hold is considerable. I do not like using the word power, but as a judge is bestowed power or the role by the Constitution, but I'm using it to illustrate a point in this context. You may deprive a person of liberty. You may order the payment of fortunes. You determine the fate of many, and may compel the state itself to act according to the Constitution and the law, or refrain from acting unlawfully. These are not small things. They call for proportionate gravity of purpose. Independence is the cornerstone of judicial authority. Section 165(2) of the Constitution directs that the courts are independent and subject only to the Constitution and the law, which they must apply impartially and without fear, favor, or prejudice. Independence is also not a personal privilege of a judge. It is a constitutional guarantee to for the litigant and the public. It means that no executive instruction, no social pressure, no popular sentiment, and no private preference may intrude upon the judgment you give. It means that the powerless must receive the same justice as the powerful. The stranger before you must be given the same consideration as the familiar. Outcomes should not be based on who the litigant is, but on what the Constitution and the law say. True independence requires a form of judicial solitude, a willingness to reason without seeking approval, and to decide without being swayed by consequences to oneself. But independence, properly understood, is not isolation. It is bounded by accountability to the law, the Constitution, and to the quality of reasoning. A judgment is accountable to scrutiny of appeal, to the scrutiny of appeal, to the critique of the legal community, and ultimately to the assessment of history. The discipline of knowing that your reasons must withstand examination is itself a safeguard against arbitrariness. One of the wisest things a senior retired judge said to me was, "Don't take yourself too seriously. You will be overturned, but that does not mean something is wrong with you. The mistake is to think that you can never get it wrong. You should write and reason as though every party before you deserves a full account of the path by which you reached your conclusion, because they do. Impartiality requires more than the absence of bias. It requires the active cultivation of fairness of mind, the willingness to hear fully before forming views, to consider arguments charitably before rejecting them, and to distinguish the law from one's own instincts and experiences. It demands a humility that sits alongside intellectual rigor, a recognition that the person who appears before you has a life, a story, and dignity, and a dignity that no court file can fully capture. The work of judging at its finest is the work of attending to the law, attending to the facts, and attending to the human being at the center of the dispute. The responsibilities of judicial office extend beyond the courtroom. A judge is obligated to the institution itself, to its reputation, its collegiality, and its continuous renewal. You are a judge not only in the court and the public sphere, but also in private. Your office follows you wherever you go. Thus, you are required to carry yourself with the repute expected of a judge in whatever you do. So please familiarize yourself with the Code of Judicial Conduct. You may be called upon to participate in the administrative life of this division, to be part of committees, to mentor those who come after you, and to contribute to the legal discourse of the time. The bench functions as a community of scholars and servants. It is also known as a brotherhood and sisterhood. We call each other brothers and sisters. It is strengthened by the diversity of its experience, the robustness of its internal debate, and the collective commitment of its members to delivering justice without compromise. There will be days of difficulty. Cases will come before you where there is no easy resolution, where the law is unsettled, where the facts are contested, where the right outcome is not self-evident, and where any decision will cause disappointment to someone who hoped for better. I'm sure you've already experienced all of this as an acting judge. In those moments, what sustains judicial office is not certainty, but conscience, the knowledge that you have reasoned carefully, listened genuinely, applied the law faithfully, and decided with integrity. That is all can be asked of any judge, and that is everything that is asked of you. I know that you're up to it. The careers you've heard have prepared you. You've also acted as judges, and I hope you will retain the commitment you have shown to deliver quality justice expeditiously. You will not relax, thinking that now that you're a permanent judge, you have arrived. As you know, we keep an open door policy in our division. Colleagues that are sitting here and those that are not here are generous with their experience and dedicated to collegial values that make this court function well. Treat other colleagues, the support staff, litigants, and their representatives with respect and professionalism, and be courteous at all times. Those who appear before you should not be frightened of you, but should feel heard, respected, and well served. With those words, I wish you all the best in your service as judges. May your judicial careers be filled with fulfillment, satisfaction, and purpose. Thank you. I now give over to Judge Erasmus, who will be addressing the biographies of the newly appointed judges.
Yes, thank you, JP. I decided to do it slightly differently. We have a long drafted document that I also engaged with our colleagues on the weekend. So maybe we should tell a story that fit in with the way you ended off with their own lives and the biographies. I wondered us on the weekend, but for Roy and Cancel, that says when they grew up, Middelburg was actually in the Cape Province. All 5 of our newly appointed judges hail from the Eastern Cape. So when I first met Roy, it was in 1981, I think. It was when he came to the university. I was a returnee to the university. But we always thought that Middelburg was the Karoo, because we would address each other like that. It's in the Karoo. But those small towns, whether it's Middelburg, Noble, Willowvale, there everybody knew everybody. It's one big family. You would attend weddings, baptisms, and sadly, funerals. So as you would come to our benefit, I think, from the backgrounds you do and how you grew up, it will assist us in being a better family on the bench. So, Roy, I know that both your sisters can't be here today, and they are following streaming online from Middelburg. I was told I can call them by their nicknames, it's easier. So Sylvia and Kenny, you follow from that side. The family would be proud of the road traveled from where you decided as a young person that you're not going into practice immediately because you want to serve people in the rural area, the auspices of the Council of Churches. Alexa Abercrombie, I believe, is present. Cordelis, who was your first principal, and later on, all the travails through the different firms to CDH, where you eventually got appointed. Your whole family is here, children, right? And I'm sure that those close to you and the ones in Middelburg will be proud of both you and Susan, whom I will turn to out of turn, because I thought I'll deal with it in the length of time I've known everyone. Because Susan I've known for the shortest of the whole group of you. Grew up in Middelburg. I'm not sure whether your father's following online, where he's currently in Boknes in the Eastern Cape. And then went to Bloemfontein school. She says, JP, she wants to return to a small town again. But she brings along some great musical talent to the bench, besides all the academic achievements of herself. I saw some of the clips of her daughter playing, and I saw the young man trying to act at the acting school. There's a lot of talent being brought, and similarly, Middelburg and the Handelshuis, I believe you and Roy are going to join up there one day in a recess and be proud. Takes us to Diane, whom I've known for the second long of everybody else, because I met Diane many years ago when she was an article clerk at Melanie, running around with Billy Hofmeyer at the time. And then at the bar. Now she's from Enghobo originally. And the only attorney in town's daughter. And then she decided, we all know Simeon, she decided to marry another attorney here in Cape Town. But again, Diane reminded us in our chats on the weekend that that small town with one attorney forced people to mediate, to find solutions to the problems. So thank you for, I think, enriching us also with those skills. Umisa, what do I say? I was reminiscing with her on the weekend, Madelma, about the fact that I lost my mother at the age of 87. And here you are, retired nurse, raised a family of giants. It's not Willem, but Willem. And she asked me to remind us of what it is that stands out for her as a privilege to be able to be appointed a judge. Because it should be an act of service. I didn't say act of service because Andre's here with his red robes getting a life sentence today. But it's an act of service that fits people's lives, as indicated by the judge. But we need to perform that duty with humility wherever and whenever we find ourselves in having to do that. I'm reminded by Nisa of her late father that the title of doctor did not define him as a person. And colleagues, it's one of the last things I think we should tell people when we work into a shop or engage, that I'm actually a judge. They must find that out by chance. But we have to behave as people. Pinda, you gave me too long a list of people to thank. So I'll try. Not in the alphabetical order because I've known him since he was a young person coming to start his articles in Cape Town, where it was first with Joey Bryan, and then with our late colleague, Judge Kiso. I think Fadia Davids over there taught him a lot of things in practice, especially when he got to India, Kiso and Associates. But you've worked hard. You've told us the story about one of our former colleagues who was your lecturer and told you you're not going to make it through the first term. He recently retired, so he's no longer in active service. But your family have made it here today. And you've shown how one can overcome adversity. When you lost your dad when you were very young. And the support of your family, other, and the extended family of your father's siblings showed that service the active service that Lisa reminded me of on the weekend. So I see that there's going to be replies. You can work in all those other replies. But again, in closing, JP, the Bello knows that I like him to play a certain song when I have to address people. We don't have to play every day. What I want to say to all of you, welcome, and our doors are open, and we're ready to serve shoulder to shoulder with everyone. But just remember, we have an obligation. Somebody on the radio today, as I was driving here from a medical appointment, was lamenting the fact that foreigners have more rights in our country. And I was saying, are we forgetting where we come from? Are we forgetting that most of us also did not enjoy rights? So our duty is to serve and to act in the interest of those that need our protection. With that power, that is spoken. So thank you, JT, and congratulations again to everybody.
Thank you, Judge Erasmus. I think what Judge Erasmus reminds us of, or how he does the biography, is that you are not what you do. You are who you are. At home, with the families that support you. And so being a judge does not make you you, but the family, the experience, and the walk that you walk makes you the person that you are. And that is the life that will be enriching us as a division. Thank you, Judge Erasmus, for that. What will now follow is the swearing in. Judge Erasmus, myself, and the DJP are going to go down there, and we will be calling each person and each judge to come forward. After being sworn in, we will present you with the certificate from the president, and then we will come join us in front as on the bench as the newly appointed judge. Thank you. All right. Right, so let's call after me. Mwanzoni sacho kumaliza. Mwanzoni sacho kumaliza. Yafunga ngokuzeneleyo. Yafunga ngokuzeneleyo. Kwanje nejaji yakunganisela kuri public process. Kwanje nejaji yakunganisela kuri public. Yakugcina ngokusela umgaqo-siseko. Yakugcina ngokusela umgaqo-siseko. Amalungelo oluntu. Njengoko emiliselwe kuwo. Njengoko emiliselwe kuwo. Ndiyakwenza ukulungisa. Ndiyakwenza ukulungisa. Uluntu lonke lufanayo. Uluntu lonke lufanayo. Okungenajuju. Ngenajuju. Okungenadolo. Ngenadolo. Okanye umkhethe. Okanye umkhethe. Ungenanayo. Ungenanayo. Nayo Stable. I believe as a concern. Where then is a judge of the High Court. So that as a judge of the High Court. I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa. I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa. Will uphold and protect the Constitution. Will uphold and protect the Constitution. And the human rights entrenched in it. And the human rights entrenched. And will administer justice to all persons alike. Will administer justice to all persons alike. Without fear, favor, or prejudice. In accordance with the Constitution and the law. In accordance with the Constitution and the law. So help me God. As the public they were appointed to the provision of effect from the 1st of June 2026. What is 5?
Let's continue. I will just name a policy.
And that is the judge of the High Court.
So yeah, it's a good one.
For the faithful to the Republic of South Africa.
Faithful to the Republic of South Africa.
Will uphold and protect the Constitution and the human rights entrenched in it.
Uphold and protect the Constitution and the human rights entrenched in it.
And will administer justice to all persons alike.
Administer justice to all people alike.
And will administer justice to all persons alike.
And will administer justice to all persons alike.
Without fear, favor, or prejudice.
Without fear, favor.
In accordance with the Constitution and the law.
In accordance with the Constitution.
So help me God.
So help me God.
That's for the President of Parliament. What is the director? Appointed to as a judge of the Western Cape High Court from the 1st of June. And Nothing else will win.
Nothing else will win.
Yafunga ngokuqokeleleyo
Uyafunda ngokuqinileyo
ukubanjwa kwejaji
manje ngejaji
ndiyakuqiniseka kule ndawo eMzantsi Afrika
Ministério de África,
Yamugwina,
Cultura,
Nukusele Kubasile, Amalungelo kumuntu,
Mulungu,
njengoba imimiselo kulo,
como emiselo kuwo,
ngiyakwenza ukulungisa
ekwenza ukulungisa
uluntu lonke ngokufanayo,
uluntu lonke lufanayo,
kungenamuntu, kungenadolo, okanye umkhethe,
okanye inketho,
ngokulungelanayo ongabasela, ndawonye nomthetho,
kufanele umthetho.
okenzeka.
I'm so proud of you, Dad.
On the president, which is appointed to the term of the President High Court, with effect from 1 June 2026. As well. Davis. The court is going to be during the first time, and most people will not be here. We honor her today as well, but we're still going to do certificates of appointments of the president, but I swear that we can only do the 1st of July, because if we swear it's going to be breaking the law. I thank you for the certificate from the president to advocate there with the names testing, saying that she appointed in the Western of the High Court with effect from 1 July 2026. Thank everyone. Now we're going to speech. We are going to have a few remarks for the TJP first, because you can't just talk without being given permission. All right, over to you, DJP.
Thank you very much, Judge President. I cannot see the newly appointed judges. Their backs are towards me. But most certainly, I hope I can say something that will resonate with them today. Firstly, I must say that when you reach this stage of your career, all the newly appointed judges, they can be regarded as leaders. They are leaders. They are here because they are leaders. And I must say, I'm feeling a little bit intimidated with the message that I've prepared, because when you deal with leaders, they can always judge you and say talking nonsense here. So let's hope the message or the remarks that I'm making now will resonate with them, even if it's just one aspect of the message that I have prepared for them. Today marks a profound milestone in your personal life. You have ascended to the bench. It is a moment of justifiable pride, the culmination of years of rigorous practice, late nights, stress, and an unyielding commitment to the law. Appointment as a judge means you are now stepping away from your legal practice and stepping into the role as a guardian of the Constitution of South Africa. As a newly appointed judge, you are now required to uphold the rule of law, interpret the Constitution, and shape jurisprudence. Your appointment signifies that you have exemplified the 5 core qualities of judicial appointment. 1, intellectual and analytical capacity. 2, integrity and independence. 3, fairness and compassion. 4, communication skills. 5, soundness of judgment. The role dictates strict adherence to a code of conduct. You are now required to avoid conflicts of interest, which means stepping down from certain community associations, boards, and detaching from political affiliations. This may trigger social and professional isolation. Becoming a judge frequently leads to a profound sense of isolation. We are often reminded that the judiciary holds neither the power of the purse nor the sword. Its only currency is public trust and moral authority. Every decision you make affects human liberty, livelihoods, and societal trust. Judges must therefore be resilient and courageous to apply legal principles and deliver decisions that may not be popular or may be seen as contrary to public opinion or not regarded as politically correct. A judge relies on his or her authority, moral compass, and intellectual depth to evaluate and adjudicate. A judge carries the psychological weight of decisions long after the court adjourns. Put differently, a judge carries the burden of ultimate decision-making. Although judges command significant societal trust and influence, the role imposes severe stress, security risks, and rigid personal limitations. High-stakes environments, high-profile or volatile cases, compounding workloads, and secondary trauma can impact on the health of a judge and result in chronic stress, severe fatigue, and case-related anxiety. Research has shown that unmanaged judicial stress directly alters brain function and decision-making processes, risking hypervigilance or unintentional pessimism. Let me be clear. Elevation to the bench is an illusion. We remain servants of the public, tasked with impartiality, applying the law, and upholding the Constitution. The privilege of being a judge, advancing human rights, and shaping a fair society under the umbrella of our Constitution makes judicial office an indispensable pillar of society and worldwide democracy. Let me pause and emphasize the symbolism and the reality of the robe. Putting on the robe for the first time as a permanent judge is a moment of great gravity. The robe signifies impartiality, neutrality, and equal justice. The robe is designed to hide our personal identity, our personal biases, and our personal egos. The robe is a heavy mantle of responsibility. It is a reminder of the weight of our responsibilities and represents the dignity of the court. When a judge steps onto the bench, everyone rises. They are not standing up for you, the judge. They are standing because of the symbol you present. They are standing out of respect for the law, the Constitution, and the ideal of justice. We wear a robe of authority, sit above the courtroom, and wield significant powers. The reality is, the greater the authority granted to a judge, the greater the need for deep, intentional humility. As you step onto the elevated bench, your first and most vital intellectual act must be an act of profound humility. Judges must display intellectual humility, which allows us to admit that we can make mistakes and errors in judgment are always possible. Courtroom dignity is maintained by a judge who models quiet respect, showing that the court values humanity over hierarchy. We are not rulers of courtrooms. We are public servants bound by the Constitution. Our authority must be matched by modesty, ensuring justice. So we must wear our robes as newly appointed judges. We wear our robes as a mantle of heavy responsibility, not as a crown of privilege. Long after a judge retires, they will be remembered by their temperament, how well they listened, how fairly they decided, and how justly they served. Judicial temperament is the ultimate expression of humility. Judicial authority is quiet. It is measured. It is calm. On behalf of the Judge President and all the judges in this division, congratulations to all the newly appointed judges. May your service on the bench be long, honorable, and profoundly humble. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DJP, for the words that give us food for thought. I'm sure the newly appointed judges have heard you very well. May I invite the newly appointed judges to take a stand and maybe go to the corner there, so at least we can have a glimpse of you, because we can't see you properly here. Just to address us on and reply to us whether you've heard us or not. All right, thank you. All right, I'll first invite Judge Anumisa Mayosi. Oh yeah, we can see. I'm sure we can see you. Yeah, we can talk from there.
I didn't know about this. So I'm not appreciating my seniors. Mine is to thank everybody. My mom. The village living. There was a farm, an angel, that's Christianity. Obviously my family, and this new village that I'm joining. Mine is to endeavor to deserve this privilege. Thank you.
The next one will be Judge Susan Hussein.
Great speech. I also like to say thank you. And starting with my long-suffering children, right? As I'm sure that it won't be easy in the future. Thank you for your patience with me. And even if I have little time, I'm unlimited. Then my father cannot be there, unfortunately, and my mother, who passed away 2 months ago, they are, I know both of them are exceedingly proud. Without them, obviously I wouldn't be an encouragement and the efforts that they made to or raise all three of their children to enter the world and to play a role in it. So thank you very much. And then to my colleagues, few colleagues on the bench, colleagues at the bar, the attorneys professionals and the public, I thank you for the trust that you placed in me. I hope to serve you well and live up to your expectations.
Thank you, Susan. I'm sure your father is watching with great pride. The next one is Roy Barenser, Judge Barenser.
Thank you, JP. I have a bit of a reputation in my family for never being sure to leave when their family function. I'm hoping to reach a point now where I can say, when I was an attorney, I got paid to speak. And seeing that I don't get paid to speak anymore, I'll maybe learn private. I dedicate this to my late parents, my extended family, those in Middleburg and elsewhere. My own family, my wife, my children are here. I'm immensely privileged to have all of you here today. Even my grandchild has been around here early on. My niece, Nicole, my nephew, Irvine, who also made an effort to attend today. Andrina, Llewellyn, I really appreciate you being here. And I must probably also mention Martha, who is here from the Netherlands. Then to the Western Cape bench, all the judges here have really made one feel welcome from day one. They were very supportive. And I think after my first stint here, I left this building saying to myself, I'm going to be back. And after my second stint as an acting judge, I left the building saying to myself, I'm going to be back here permanently at some point. I'm very happy that I can stand here today and know that this was accomplished. I'm acutely aware of the large responsibility that will rest on my shoulders. We had a bit of a taste for that during this acting stint, but I know it's nothing more than a taste. I really look up to the senior colleagues around me and admire the fact that they've been doing this for so long. And I seem to be normal still. But that's just different. DJ, you mentioned about what it can do to one's sanity, if I understood it correctly. So to my family, when I start acting strangely. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can bring your invoice. We'll make sure that All right. So the next one is Judge Njokweni.
Thank you, JP. I must also follow suit and express my disclaimer as well. But I was not prepared for this reply. First and foremost, I want to dedicate this opportunity to God Almighty and for His mercies. I owe this to my late parents. Who have taught me everything about human decency and humility. I always wondered where I get this resilience. In fact, person from whom I get it I am told that on the day she went to labor as a firstborn, she just ran 400 by 400 hurdles. And her teacher didn't know that she was pregnant. And I guess that's where I get my resilience, but I failed dismally on the tracks. So I honestly should acknowledge in my life, skill of strength, significance until 30 months in 2024. She always encouraged me to do more and always said that one day you'll be elevated to the bench. I'm so proud that I stand here before you having achieved it. I want to also acknowledge my partner, Mbali, Dr. Tabete, who was here today. In my trial and tribulations and practice and failed partnership and much of it, I decided at the age of 51 to do privilege. And we're told that it will probably take you 24 months to earn your first fee. Post that. And the support that Mbali gave me, emotionally and otherwise, I'm truly indebted. To my siblings who are here today, for Palmas Ola, and for Azi, my daughter Flumelo, Bazalabam, the Nonianes, and the other friends of mine who are here. Thank you so much for your support over the years. Without you, I would not have made it. And you really pulled me through a lot of difficulties in the past and supported my practice. And I'm very grateful to God. Lastly, but not the least, very grateful to the bench, to the JP, for giving me the opportunity to act here. And I've learned a lot, and I appreciate the support from all the colleagues. I thank you.
Thank you, Judge Ndufweni. And the last one, the incoming judge, Advocate Davis, SC. Please also address us.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
And it's a call. We may all.
And the cards.
I
want to start by thanking my husband and my son being there for me to go around to JSC interviews. For this day was overwhelming. Those periods, as all of my colleagues will know, I was unpaid. Thank you, and particularly to my husband, who is unwavering belief in me when I was ready to start believing. I'm here today in no small measure due to the faith and backbone that you put in. So thank you for that. It's not everybody who gets to fulfill their dream. And I am so humbled and so grateful that I'm one of the few people who have that privilege. I reached for a dream and I got there. And I thank God for that. I resonate profoundly with what BJP had to say about humility. And it struck me as she was speaking that isn't it a great irony that as judges we must not be judgmental. We need to operate on a deep sense of compassion and humanity and an understanding of the human condition, which is ironically the very antithesis of being judgmental. And I can only promise that in all my days as a judge, I would strive to operate out of that place of deep humanity and compassion. Integrity. And lastly, two things. I want to thank all the colleagues on the bench who I've known for many, many years, and they've always been so supportive and so welcoming. And I already regard them as family, and now I'm going to be the naughty new kid on the block. And I thank you for that. And I look forward to being part of this wonderful community. And I think without that community and that strength, we can't do the immense burden of service that we've got to do. So I'm very excited about being part of the team. And lastly, I want to pay tribute to the late Justice Leonora van der Heever, who I had the privilege of meeting here as an acting judge in 2013 in the Tigwood. And she said something to me that I have never ever forgotten, and it's going to shape my life going forward. She said to me, on the bench, I was Judge van der Heever, but at home, I was Mrs. Neer. I promise you, from this day forward, home, I will always be Mrs. Neer.
Thank you, everyone. I can see that the colleagues are now acting like judges here. The theme is brevity. No longer long heads, long submissions, repeating. It's oneself. I will remind you that you can actually shoot and do your extemporaries. That's why we didn't tell you that you're going to reply, because we wanted to test you whether you can do it on your feet. All right. Thank you to everyone. Those are just amazing and profound words. We thank you for the replies. And we thank you for availing yourselves and really putting your hands up to be part of our bench. We recognize that some people have to go back to court, so that's why we have to keep it short. But I just have to do a vote of thanks before we adjourn. First, I would like to thank the Wellness and Entertainment Committee. We do have the Entertainment Committee here as judges, and they've organized this ceremony very well. That is Judges Likuleni, Ziweni, Khalakhala, and Judge Holderness, and also Judge Sher for the sitting arrangements and making sure that we're all lined up very well as you see us today. And also want to thank the support staff who supported us very, very well. Nosi, our court manager, Swetiso, Nicola, our acting chief registrar, Geraldine, our office manager, Sabelo, who took us back to years. Thank you so much, Sabelo, who made sure that our families and the families of our newly appointed judges get to witness this moment online. Zoliswa Nyele, our admin officer, Tobek, our refreshments clerk, and her assistants, Poliswa, and everyone else, Ruen, and everyone that was involved in organizing this ceremony. DJP Goliath for your wonderful speech. Judge Erasmus for interviewing over the weekend, and all the candidates and making sure that you get all your facts right. Thank you, and everybody for attending the ceremony, our wonderful families for traveling all the way from all corners of South Africa to be part of us. I have to mention Mama Duna because I am Mama Duna. All right. Thank you very much, our celebrants, for your moving speeches. And once again, for coming to the division and being part of our ceremony from wherever you come from. Thank you very much. We will adjourn right now. And please join us for refreshments just outside this courtroom. Thank you. Court adjourned.
Congrats, man.